You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
I think I got my swagger back.
I think that is the best lead we've ever done. Shout out to Aaron for finding that video and inspiring that segment. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, where the Edmonton Oilers are on a 2-game win streak, and the vibes are high. I may have declared this team down and out on Oilers Nation Radio before the Washington game on Friday, but I'll tell you something. Feeling pretty good about this team right now. How about you, Aaron?
Liam, we might be back. I got my swagger back. I'm in such a good mood today. If you watched After Dark last night, I spent the entire weekend with a smile on my face. It's been a good time, and I know that there's a lot of people that wanted to give up on this team. I kept the receipts. I will have my receipt show one day, but right now there's no negativity. It's all positivity. We're so back, and I think I got my swagger back. That's the best video ever.
I keep thinking of the other one too, where it's like there's another football player. I think it might even be like from the same.
Okay, I was thinking about
segment.
this before we were talking. I also can't remember.
Is it the one where he's like, they had us in the first half?
Yes. Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie, they had us in the first half. And I'm kind of feeling that way about this team right now. Yeah, they had us in the first half, but now we're on a 2-game win streak. The vibes are high. Remember when we had 3 wins in a row only 2 weeks ago? We are now 4-3 in the Nobby era.
Yeah, right.
Which is good.
That is good.
That is a good thing.
That's positive. I see somebody here said James Hamlin's on a 16-goal pace. Let's go. Zach Hyman's for above 40, I think.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into some hammy on this show. But yes, welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday and into the Sports Closet Studio, St. Albert, Kingsway Mall, Sherwood Park Mall, where you'll find me on the phone more often than not. We're going to make some phone calls. Great service.
I also live
phone service
a minute or two away from the Sherwood Park Mall.
Maybe
so
come on over. I usually have an ice cream when I go because you had an ice cream at Sherwood Park Mall.
It's true.
I'm not going to give him a shout out.
Hey, do you have hot water at your house back here?
Yeah, hot water is up and thriving.
There we go. Liam said he didn't have hot water, and I was wondering if he was going to show up at my house to shower. I would have let him.
They got handled pretty quick. I mean, look, we take a lot of things for granted, and when they're gone, then you realize how much you actually needed that one thing. I never realized, like I did, but I never put into perspective how much hot water meant to me. Dishwasher,
everything,
laundry, simply washing your hands.
Yeah, you ever wash your hands in just ice cold water? No,
it's cold.
Man.
It is very, very cold. So yeah, if you need hot water tank, I would recommend getting one before it explodes on you, like mine pretty much did too. There you go.
That was last week, buddy. We're this week, people. Yeah. We're back.
The Finny Cat YouTube chat is buzzing and is fans of the new lead we just created, Aaron. But the first comment in the chat today is from Bring Cassian home. If McDavid can put up 5 points every game, we'll still win the President's Trophy, guys. Yes, we will. Did you see the stat that McDavid now has 9 5-point games in his career, which is the most by an active player in the NHL? I believe second is Malkin with 8. And then Draisaitl's on there with 6. And there's a bunch of other guys. Jonathan Huberdeau has 5. I actually don't think any of those are with.
Bag Milk just walked in with donuts, too.
Ooh,
dude, what a good day right now.
He must have hit a bet.
He did. He went off last night.
Every period. Wow, look at this.
Everybody at home, I hope you're in a good mood like we are, too. Vibes are incredible right now.
Can you not open these boxes? We are live. Oh wow! Hey. And I get first dibs. Oh, I'm gonna go with this one.
Let me know in the chat. What's your go-to donut? I think I'm a Boston cream guy.
What is this one? A Crulla. What is your favorite donut?
That one right there, baby.
Boston cream.
That's it.
Danger Suede said Liam is secretly one of the orphans from Oliver Twist. Maybe.
That's hilarious. Yeah, vibes are good, man. Vibes are good. Everybody in here.
Oh, sorry. We'll really get moving on the show.
We gotta eat. Chewing the mic.
Lily just said, well, I haven't seen it in the chat before, so if you have, you've been around, I apologize, but welcome to the show either way. Vegas, obviously the Oilers' opponent on Tuesday. Lily said Vegas last 10, 4, 5, and 1. Oilers last 10, 5 and 5. Are we catching the
We're
Golden
better.
Knights
Okay, there it is. We are
at the
better.
right time?
I hope
Maybe.
so.
I mean, that's going to be the real test for the team, but I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about what happened last night.
Gotta put your donut down.
At Rogers Place. Not a good start for the Edmonton Oilers. They obviously gave away the power play early. And then Evander Kane lets kind of Max Jones slip away there. But then he recovers very well, gets a goal. But then Stuart Skinner, I don't know what he was thinking on that Anaheim second goal. Why not? Why did he try to
It was awkward. It was weird.
It was very weird.
He blocked his own shot.
It almost felt like a pond hockey goal or like a men's league goal where the guy was just an older goalie, was like couldn't be down on his knees too much, like needed to get up a little bit. And then he's like, you lift up at such a bad time, and then it's like that goal just goes right underneath him. We spoke about it right before the show, and credit to Skinner, he picked it up.
Yep, exactly.
But boy, oh boy, that was not a reassuring couple of minutes there.
I was like, man, I was pissed. I was once again, I said it. I mean, you all heard it on After Dark last night, but I was rattled like, man, you do not know what you're getting with this guy. I talked about sophomore slump on pre-gaming, but credit where credit's due. He let in the weak one there, the second one, the first one. What are you going to do about that?
Like,
that was a beautiful play.
Yeah.
But the thing with Skinner is he locked it down and made every stop he needed to from that point on. And while it wasn't pretty, hey, I believe his save percentage starts with a 9 again. So there we go, 913. You see it right there.
What did they show on the screen during the game? I think he has a 904 in his last 5 games, which in comparison was like an 8 something in the previous however many games.
I might have some.
So Stuart Skinner, I think it's fair to say he's found his rhythm back in his game again, right? Like I said, that second goal wasn't good by any means, but throughout the game the Oilers didn't give away too many big chances, but either way, like Skinner made the saves and allowed the Oilers offense to run away with it and give him some run support, which is something he's been getting a little bit more of recently, and he's not been able to back it up. I'm thinking of the Tampa Bay game. The Oilers score 5 and lose, or 4, whatever it was, lose that game. You need Skinner to maybe make one extra save there. I think the Taneja no one is people were pointing at the most, but mistakes were made up the ice a little bit further. But either way, Oilers run away with it. But the thing I like the most about it is
getting our swagger back.
We got our swagger
Me too,
back.
dude. Me too.
But the Evander Kane goal, the Evander Kane one where he messed up on the goal, which was Anaheim's first goal. You never saw that again the rest of the game. Yep. The adjustment was made immediately, and the Oilers were dialed in and focused on playing good defensive hockey, and they found a way the rest of the way, and then everyone scored.
Everyone. It was a point night, dude. It was a point
night. Can we get the first goal, please, Aaron? I believe it was Evander Kane. And a first Edmonton Oilers point for our boy, Connor Brown. Great play by him, to find Evander Kane to get on the ball. I can't believe this was his first point, but great finish by Evander Kane there, too. And great job, Connor Brown. I'm so happy. He had a few good lucks in the first period there. That one shot too, where he's kind of coming across and made Dostal make it one of his. Like, what did he make 3 saves in a game? Lucas Dostal. I cannot believe
he was
how
my
long,
cold performer last night.
Oh yeah, rightfully so. I can't believe how long they left him in the crease for.
He looked like he was just broken shell of a man too. Like he had no confidence. 3 goals on 4 shots?
Yeah. And
man. The goalie curse, the backup goalie curse, at least for now, can be put for a little bit to bed there, because we dominated that, man.
Yeah, it was very impressive. And if you remember Lucas Dostal, it's because last season he came in and he beat the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah. I was at that game. I went with my dad. We had great seats. We paid good money for some seats behind the net. Unbelievable.
Didn't want that view.
Unbelievable.
Wallace had great seats last night.
Yeah,
he was with McMullen.
He got the McMullen treatment last night. McMullen just treating us well there at Oilersnation. Again, shout out to him and his dedication to
Christopher Palmer is trying to treat me nicely and take me to a game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna go to a game. So
yeah. Well, hey.
Someone's gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about it.
If you ever want to go, let me know.
Hey, there you
go. McDavid gets on the board next with 3-on-1, where that man was not missing that chance. He buried that one right past Dostal there too. Was this Nurse with the initial pass, I believe?
I think so.
Nurse kind of plays out, then I guess to Hyman, and then So Darnell Nurse, like, boy oh boy, we're gonna get to his highlight reel play here pretty quick, but that was sick. That was a sick goal by McDavid. Again, there's so much to talk about in this game because he scored 8 goals. At this 8?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they had one
That's
disallowed.
not a typo, brother. That's reality right there.
And they had one disallowed, but McDavid was buzzing. And I just want to keep going ahead because Oilers have already scored 3 goals at this point, and we haven't even seen the best ones yet. Because this pass by Darnell Nurse,
That's a $9 million pass.
is everything. This is incredible. To put that right on, and credit to News too for corralling it and bringing it into himself and then giving himself enough time to keep going. But boy, oh boy, that was a crazy pass. And I believe you said, Aaron, in the post game, Nuge said, like, Daryl said to him, like, hey, this is the play.
Yep. He said that was all here. I have it here somewhere. I think this is it. Yeah. That was all Nursey. He called it before the draw and made a perfect pass. I said you were talking before the game. Nice. You can chew. I can talk. Nice. We got a good back and forth going on here. But that there was 2 goals, I believe, last night that were set off the face-off. We're winning face-off draws in the offensive end. In the defensive end, you win the draw. You have the set play. Execute it to perfection. I asked you, is that coaching? Is that execution? You said...
I think it's coaching and the players execute.
Yeah.
That's something when the players watch video and they see these the coaches watch video, they see these openings displayed to the players and the players have to go and execute. When you have the talent the Oilers have, they're able to expose teams so bad when they're buzzing. And I think that's exactly what they did to Anaheim last night. They found that there's a big gap between their 2 defensemen. And I think they scored 2, maybe 3.
Hyman had a breakaway goal too.
Hyman had 2. And then Nuge had his 1. Something like that anyway.
It's too many to keep track of.
There were so many goals.
The Crown Royal scoring summary took like 25 minutes last night because there's too many goals. Too many goals.
So that one was sick. But this Hyman one was my favorite goal. Just because it was so, this was also clearly a set play. This was one of the 2 face-off plays that you spoke about. But McDavid wins the draw, bangs it back to, I think it was Bouchard on Nurse, whoever it was. Swings his way all the way around the net. And then Hyman pokes his way out, just stands there. McDavid just puts it right onto his stick, and Hyman just bangs it home. It was just incredible. Like that McDavid just knew, like everyone just knew where they needed to be. And I feel like we haven't seen that synergy from this team much this season.
Off a draw.
There it is. Whoever that is, I think it's Bouchard. Finds McDavid. Unbelievable.
They make it look so easy.
and that is not easy. That is not an easy goal to do, to have it work. Like, plays work perfectly in games often, I would say. But the fact McDavid was just not seen lingering around is a credit to McDavid, but how bad the Ducks were, I guess, last night, too. And it's just
but I said
that was
before,
Vinny on the goal. Sorry.
Good teamos will go and beat the ever-living out of bad teams. I saw some people last night on Twitter, whatever, Reddit. We didn't really have many trolls last night because it was such an ass kicking that there's nothing you could really say. But that, I don't know, those are great plays. We're positive. I'm in such a good mood. We might be back. But I wanted to, before we just move along here, the Darnell Nurse pass. It was a big topic of conversation last night. I saw we posted it on Instagram. Nice, get another bite in. I got some here.
It's all gone.
Darnell Nurse is finally getting the appreciation he deserves. I have been a Darnell Nurse stan since day one. Last year it was tough because he was getting, rightfully so to some extent, a lot of hate, some not rightfully, whatever, but everybody has their whipping boy.
Yep.
I keep doing it on pre-gaming and the post-game. I made a poll the other day. Is Darnell Nurse been the best defenseman on this team this season? 92% said yes. Last night was a Darnell fest of men. There's still some people who obviously bring up the contract. Whatever. I'm so tired of hearing it. You'd sign it in front of you as well. And I'm sorry if you think that we would be a better team if we lost Darnell Nurse. It's the old debate of, well, you could get 2 guys for $4.5 million. We say, find that in reality. That doesn't exist. This team would not be better without Darnell Nurse. He is our stud D-man. What do you have, 3 points last night?
I think so,
25 minutes of ice with 2 black eyes and his face messed up.
He looks
That's a
unreal.
hockey player, man. He needs his props. Everybody in the chat, I hope you agree.
I think I agree. Well, I don't think I agree. I definitely agree. With him being the best defenseman on the team is a prop to him. I don't know if everyone else has played that well, but he's been the most consistent, which is which is
He's not
good.
responsible for how everybody else
No,
plays.
exactly. And he needs to be consistent when everyone else is playing so bad. Like, hey, he's obviously made mistakes. If you go and watch any other defenseman in the NHL, they'll know mistakes too. And I think this year, if I remember, just thinking back to last year a little bit, he made errors that were so blatant that they would stand out so much, and it was so easy to pick on him. I feel like we're not seeing that as much from him, and his offense is good. And the thing that's always going to let him down with those offensive numbers is the fact he doesn't play on the power play.
Yeah.
So he's going to lose 20 points right there. Last season,
Well, PP2 goal last night, though.
True, and I believe he got an assist on that goal.
Pretty
So
sure
there you go. 8 points in 20 games this season. 3 goals for Darnell Nurse. Last season, of course, was top 5, I believe, in 5-on-5 scoring for a defenseman. He's a great player. I understand it. We always, as fans in hockey, we always look at the contracts, and we're all very invested in it. I don't know if there's any other sport where I know what players get paid. Like, I have no idea what NBA. I know what NBA players get paid. I don't know how the cap necessarily works because it's a bit different.
They pay like 4 guys, and then the rest get vet minimum.
Exactly. NFL is just so many players, but like maybe it's because hockey is such more of a team sport that we all value contracts a little bit differently. But it's the only sport that people really care about for contracts, which is kind of nuts. But Darnell Nurse was fantastic last night. Evan Bouchard had a good night offensively too. Was quiet on the defensive end, which is good. I think that's one of the best games we've seen from Eklhom in a while. Cody Ceci,
Poor guy. What a D pairing. Darnell and Ceci, facial injuries. They stay out there.
And some boys. They're hockey players. Now Cody Ceci
probably handsome.
Needed a little bit of bruising on his face, to be honest.
He's too good looking.
Real hockey player.
He's too good looking.
First career multiple game for Vinny as well, I believe, last night.
I see somebody in here just said, where was this? Man, there's so many people in here. It was Vinny Desharnais hate, and I did not agree with it. Here it is, Naeem. I have never disliked a player more than Desharnais. Every time I'm watching it, it seems like he makes a bum decision in his own zone. I strongly disagree with that, but
I think
not all the time. Obviously, he does make blunders, but
yeah,
I think he's coming into his own right now.
I think he's been playing well the last handful of games. I think he's maybe got that new coach bump for himself. Yeah. One thing with Vinny, which I think he's just always going to track him the rest of his life, he's very awkward because he's so big. Like he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, but I think it's because he's 6'7" and just doesn't have the room and mobility in himself to make it look smooth.
Nothing's ever smooth with him.
He's very, very like broken up his play. I agree to an extent that like what was the exact quote? Sorry, I don't see it.
Naeem here. I have never disliked a player more than Desharnais. Every time I'm watching him, it seems like he makes a bum decision in his zone.
It was only a few games ago that he hit the post on his own net too. So
you've never disliked a player more than him? That's crazy.
That's not true. Adam Ernie plays on this team. What I would say for Vinny is
catching strays, brother.
I don't think he's an everyday defenseman. I think the Oilers, I wrote about this. I believe it's out in Oilersnation
right now, the way he's playing, I do think he's an everyday defenseman. But that's just the last handful of games.
Exactly. Like, how long is he going to be before he kind of falls off a cliff a little bit again? I don't think he leaves the Oilers exposed in any regard. But I think there's a guy on the Philadelphia Flyers that the Oilers should have some interest in. His name is Sean Walker. Few people obviously know because he played for the Kings, and I understand he was like a bit injured a couple of years ago, healthy scratch in the playoffs too. But now he's on Philly and he's playing a pretty good role. He's $2.65 million. I don't know if Philly are going to do that right now because they're second in the Metro, and the others are obviously like second last in the Pacific. But eventually, like one of them is going to balance his way out. But the Oilers need to address that position because Vinny's a good defenseman. He's better when he doesn't have to play every single night. So, but
Brett just asked in the chat, why does Ernie always catch strays, Liam?
Why does Ernie catch straight? Hey, I'm going to say this about Ernie. He's played very well the last 3 or 4 games.
I said yesterday on After Dark, there's a couple moments that he took it down the wing fast and like fluid dangles, like a little toe drag stuff. And I was like rubbing my eyes going, is it late or is that actually 21 right there?
Here's what I'll say about Adam Ernie. Got his first point as an Oiler last night. I just don't know why he was brought in. Like, I just find it very interesting that the Oilers went down this route again of bringing in a PTO who was a guy who clearly had a ceiling. You know what I mean? Like they did it a couple of years ago, like Jake Vatanen, obviously is the off the ice stuff, but he was never going to be anything better than an in and out guy. When these other guys out on the market too that we've seen, like a Sonny Milano, you know, he had a very good season a couple of years ago. I think he was on Columbus and then wherever he's on Washington now, wherever he kind of all ended up. It was like, why are you not going after those guys? You can get on cheaper deals. I just don't know what Adam Ernie is going to bring any more than what he does. He's done very well.
Like you need one or two of those guys that are just basic fourth line.
He can't kill penalties. He doesn't play on the power play.
I guess that would. The penalty kill thing would be.
He's a bit useless, but he not in like a rude way.
No, I get what you mean.
But he's playing very well at the moment. I will give him 100% credit. I'm fine.
I think the first time I can say that we agree with Adam Ernie because I'm not going to use the word useless, but if you're a bottom six guy, you need to offer other things like a penalty kill. Yeah, but he's also a guy who takes a number and will go run you into the center of earth.
Exactly. But he's played well. But I think when this team is healthy, he's a guy that you just have back and forth. I just think there's better options. That's my only thing with him, but whatever. It doesn't even matter with him anymore. But one guy who is thriving on this team right now, James Hamlin. James Hamlin, 2 goals this season. Last night got a little bit lucky in the way the puck came back to him, but sometimes
make your own luck.
Make your own luck. What's that thing? You have to be good to be lucky.
You got to be lucky to be good. You got to be
good
to be lucky.
Something like
that.
Great finish by him too. And it's like Knobloch said the other day. Is that goal 250, 251? It's his second goal in the NHL. Takes it right there, gets it right back. No hesitation to just bang that one home. First goal in Edmonton for the Edmonton native. You love to see it. But I'm going to spin this into a negative. Why can't Ryan McLeod do that?
Oh, God.
Why can't Ryan McLeod come in with speed like that and take his opportunities like James Hamlin did? Get his confidence thing. But that was not anything special. He shot the puck. It got blocked. It was actually a bad shot. And then he was able to redeem himself because he stuck with the play.
The middle of the ice in the slot. Crazy how that works.
We've seen McLeod get those chances, and it never hits the net. And it's just like, come on, man. You got to find a way here to justify your $2 million contract. When you have guys like Ernie and James Hamlin, Sam Gagner coming in from Bakersfield and actually making a difference in this team, and you're in the lineup every single night, mostly out of necessity rather than a want, unfortunately, right now. They need more from Ryan McLeod, but credit to James Hamlin for actually going out and making a difference on the ice. He, for me, needs to be in this team every single night.
I said it on pre-gaming. There's no way you can send that guy down right now. And what I loved last night is he did his interview with Gene. I think it was the second intermission because he scored.
And they forgot to cut it. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did notice. Very awkward. I thought it was very, very weird. Yeah, it was whatever. But during it, he said that he was like, my game starts in I'm paraphrasing, but my game starts in the defensive zone. Any offense that comes is a total bonus. That was also the definition of Vinny was. That's why I also disagreed with what Naeem said there. This replay doesn't go back enough that we have, but Vinny tried to get it out at one point in their own end. He couldn't do it. They kept it in. Then he's still behind the net. He gets the puck and he takes the 1,000, 2,000 to go. Okay, assess. What am I going to do? He rang it off the glass, got it out enough, and that was, I think, to Bouchard, or no, it was Ernie, who made the beautiful pass.
Yeah,
but it was great. Like Campbell said, start in defensive zone. You're good there. It'll all move out forward, and that's a bonus. And then he gets a shot blocked, and he gets it. But he's just flopping all over the place. I don't even know what that was. That's 200-foot hockey right there.
I do like the quote from Hamlin saying his game starts in the defensive zone, and if you work hard there, you're going to get rewarded.
Our guest is here.
Is he really?
On the Star Mechanical guest line.
He's early.
He's early. Should I bring him in? I see him giggling right now.
Should we make him wait?
Yeah, let's make him wait. I see him now. Let's bring him in.
I got my checkboard, Tyler. My sponsorship list. Can you see that? I can't hear him.
Can you guys hear him? Because we can't.
I can't hear you, Tyler. Are you muted?
I was muted.
There you go. You've been away for too long. You don't even know how to turn on microphones anymore. Where are you? Winnipeg?
No, in the Philadelphia airport. I'm hanging out. Amber's here. Hello, Amber.
Hello, Amber.
You can wave. Okay, or don't. I'm in the Philly airport. Figured nothing better to do than join my boy Liam because I breezed through security in about 4 minutes.
Nice. Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to 15 more minutes. I'm still doing my recap, Tyler. I spoke about how Adam Ernie might be back on the redemption train. but I'm still not 100% fan. And I also gave Ryan McLeod a little bit of crap because James Hamlin has 2 goals this season, and Ryan McLeod still has a big donut next to his name. But did you catch the game last night? What do you think? Are we back?
Yeah. I mean, you know my rule. I'm not going to say the Oilers are back until they've won 5 in a row. They need to get to 5 in a row. Until then, it's just thumbs up the whole way. So I don't know. Last night was the win against Washington was more impressive, right? Like last night against Anaheim, it's run and gun hockey against an objectively terrible club. Like Anaheim stinks. So should that game have gone exactly how it did? Yeah, absolutely. The Oilers should do that to teams like Anaheim every single time. So the win against Washington was more impressive. Still, you collect the 2 points. Hopefully it gives them a bit of their swagger back. This nice little run here. Connor McDavid's swagger is definitely back. So it's a good building block, but I'm not sitting here saying they're back.
Yeah, there's well, we've spoke about the game a lot, but there's actually one thing I've been very keen on asking you, and this isn't a joke. But what did you think of the speculation that Jack Campbell is the only solution to the Oilers' goaltending problems?
I think calling him the only solution is a little bit silly, right? Like we know there's options on the trade market if the Oilers want to go pay the price. So, I mean, to sit there and be like, it's only Jack that can save it. No. Also, has he had a couple of okay starts now in the American League? He had a shutout. Then I think he only, he had like an 8-something save percentage the other night or a 9-something save percentage, whatever it was. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen enough there to be like, yeah, let's call him up in the next 7 days.
Yeah, I think that would be this silly. And that's the thing, too, is like, what's the timeline on this? Like, how long are you just going to hope that Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard are just going to be able to carry the load? Like, Pickard, to his credit, has actually been pretty good in the 2 games that he's played. He was good in response to against Florida, and then decent in his start, in Florida and whatever it was, right? So that was good. But then, like, Skinner, you watch the start of that game, and it's like, okay, that first goal wasn't really your fault. That was Patrick Kane, paraphrasing. That would have been nice. Evander Kane coming in, and then the second one of what was that? Like, do you think Skinner's been good? I guess, or what do you think? Because he got pulled too, like only 2 games ago.
Yeah, so I have an article coming out tomorrow on Oilers Nation where I talked about this a bit. Like he's had a 900 or better save percentage now in 5 of his last 7 games. The issue is 2 of them have been absolute stinkers, right? He gave up 5 to Tampa Bay and then he gave up 4 to Carolina. But if outside of that, like he's put together some really nice games against Seattle, 944, against the Islanders, 970, Seattle again, 914, Washington shutout 1,000, and then 913 last night against Anaheim. Gave up a weak one yesterday to the Ducks. I really disliked that second goal. That's one he needs to stop, but he's given up 2 goals over the course of his last 2 games. That's really good and a step in the right direction. So I think they can keep riding Stuart Skinner for a little bit here, but can that get you through the next month? I don't know. I think maybe you can survive the next week or so because you have, that built-in sort of bye week coming up at some point here. But you can't run Pickard and Skinner for the whole season. At some point, you need to address it, and I'm not convinced that just bringing up Jack Campbell's the right play.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, to be honest. And I always reference the LA Kings of this, obviously, because of the trade they made in the summer, but also they turned Cal Peterson and Jonathan Quick into Phoenix Copley and Corpusalo, and the only reason they lost in the playoffs to the Oilers wasn't those guys, but their offense just wasn't good enough to compete for 6 games against the Oilers, right? So I just think there's no excuse for this team just to sit on their hands and pretend that the only solution is within when we all know there's a lot out there, like we just said. But I wrote an article too about other options on the trade front. Where else do you think this team needs to address issues? I said I think they need another defenseman, specifically on the right side. Like last night when it looked like Cody Ceci went down the tunnel and they said he eventually came back. It was like, if that guy's out for a while, the Oilers are totally screwed on the right side with Bouchard and Vinny, and then also catching strays again. But Ryan McLeod hasn't done a lot this season. Like, where do you think they need to go here?
Yeah, I think there are other options they need to address. The right shot D thing is definitely something we're going to hear more and more of as we head closer to the trade deadline. I just don't think you can really expect to go through the season fully healthy. Like if a left shot D man got hurt, okay, you put Philip Broberg in the lineup. You're elevating someone like if it was Eklhom or Nurse, right? One of those guys needs to take on a bit more. Broberg's in the lineup. You're kind of covered. If a righty got hurt right now, like okay, what, you're living with Broberg playing the right side or someone playing their offside. Also, I just think you could use an upgrade on Cody Ceci at some point. I think he's been fine this year, but again, not exactly a world beater by any stretch. So I think the right shot thing you'll hear more about, and the center, you're bang on with that. Like, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as a winger, we all need to accept and love him for what he is, and it's a good top 6 winger. They don't have a third line center. Ryan McLeod's not cutting it. And I know we can talk about his age and say at some point it's going to get better. But even if it does get better for Ryan McLeod, I think you're still looking for a centerman. Maybe it's someone more in that 4C range, not the 3C, but this team will need a center. This team will need their 2024 version of Nick Bukestad.
May I get a little crazy here with an idea? What about
No.
Okay, people are going to be intrigued by this one, I think. I'll hate it. What if the Oilers just went out and got Elias Lindholm?
He'll be so expensive, and he'll be a pure rental because you won't be able to afford to sign him.
Why would? But is that not worth it if they're in a position to go and win? Like, this is all if this season continues to trend in a good direction, right? Like, it doesn't matter if they suck. Like, I pulled a leaf out of your book the other day, Tyler, and I said the Oilers were done. So that was not good for me, especially I said it right before the Washington game too. But they go out, they get Lindholm, and then you can have your 3 of McDavid, Dry, Lindholm, who is a defensive forward, obviously, has been like a Selke nominee. I think he was second a couple of years ago, like $4.8 million on the cap. I don't know what the price would be, but even if they retain till the end of the season, like is very affordable in the sense of cap.
So if you were to part ways with your first, McLeod, CC, and Borgo, so 2 premium assets, McLeod, who maybe they think they're buying low on, CC's the cap dump. What else do you have to throw in to get Lindholm and a defenseman? Because I think that would be the play, right? If you're going to give up a ton of really good assets to Calgary, then you want to cover on the blue line as well. So can you get a Tanev? You know, he has a 10-team no trade list, but for the last 25 games of the season, does he go, you know what, I'm still relatively close to my family this way. Edmonton has a chance to win. I'll go boost my value there. I think they should be interested in a guy like a Chris Tanev. I think to a lesser extent, Nikita Zadorov, he doesn't shoot the right way, right? He's a lefty. So, you know, I would explore the cost of a Lindholm Tanev deal, but I don't see it as realistic, man. I just think where the Oilers are going to be shopping, they'll be looking more on the impactful side on the blue line and more on the depth side up front.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a long shot too. But when I was kind of looking through names, I was like, it's not like crazy to think of, like, because like you said, like this Edmonton and Calgary have made trades before historically. It's not like they're just blacklisted from each other. Like, it's something that does happen. And like you said, it's only 3 hours away. It's not too far away for a 25 game span, however long it may be. I don't think it's crazy to think of, but another name that's probably way more realistic. What do you think of Sean Walker on the blue line? He's actually having a pretty good season in Philly. He's about 2.6.
So I think with Walker, that's a guy who might go to one of these spots who are looking for more immediate help. He's a right shot, so I wouldn't mind him. But what's his ceiling, right? Like, is he a very, very big upgrade on Cody Ceci? He's not, so it's probably not worth the cost of doing business. And I think Philly's actually going to probably cash in on how high his value is sooner rather than later, so he doesn't play like junk for 2 months before the deadline. I could see him being a guy in Vancouver, if we're being honest. Relatively low cap hit. They could squeeze him in. They're starting to get banged up a bit. I think Sean Walker would make sense there. Can I throw a different name at you from a team that's struggling, though, Liam?
Go ahead. Is it Samuel Montembeault and Sean Monahan?
No, but I do like that duo as well, as you know. But what if you called up Columbus? And I mean, things are not going good there. Jarmo Kekalainen's on his last legs. He's got a modified no trade clause, but what if you could get Boone Jenner out of Columbus?
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, that would be a good one.
Dude, that's a sick name right there. I'd be so in favor of that.
I'll be honest, I really thought you were going to say Patrick Laine.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, God, no. That's the last. This team needs to play more defense, not less defense. And the thing with Jenner, like I see we have a comment from David in the Facebook chat who says it's too early to rent. And I understand that thinking. If you could go to Columbus, maybe you can get like Boone Jenner 2 more seasons, 3.75. So if you swapped Ryan McLeod for him, like you're almost there from a cap hit perspective. You'd have to add a little bit more onto that, obviously. But I don't know. They got D-men to burn too. Like I'm just looking. Their right shot D. Severson obviously just signed. Good Branson, I don't like. Andrew Peak is actually a decent player. Adam Boquist is a young right shot D-man, 23 years old. Jake Beans on that blue line can play both sides. They're trying to make room for David Jiricek to be a full-timer. Like right now on their roster, Jake Bean's a lefty, sorry, so he wouldn't play on the right side. But right now on their roster, they have Severson, Goodbranson, Peak, Boquist, and Jiricek. They have 5 true right shot defensemen on their roster right now. Maybe you could do something like a McLeod and CC plus picks or prospects, and you could get Andrew Peak and Boone Jenner out of it.
I mean, yeah, I think that's if the Oilers can get forward and a defenseman in the same deal, whatever team it may be, then that's the direction they need to go. A lot of people, Tyler, specifically Daryl Sutter, is saying we're not being realistic and we need to get back to reality. We shouldn't talk about trades.
He also said, why are you talking about trades? We just won 8-2, which I stand with.
We're on a 2-game. We're on a heater, buddy. We're rolling here. We're not a lot of fun to talk about. We've been joking about trades, but realistically, too, like the Oilers are 6 games out of a playoff spot here. Like, where are your vibes at right now? What are you thinking? Like, I know you said off the top, like this team needs to kind of get going here. They have a Vegas team that's actually not been great the last 10 or so games. Like they lost 3-0 to Washington the other day too, and then lost 2-0 last night. Like they're kind of catching Vegas at a really good time.
Yeah, Vegas is 4-5-1 in their last 10 games, man. Like I know that the Oilers are only 1 win better in their last 10, but the point is you made is good. Like Vegas is not at their best right now. Where I'm at with the Oilers, and I'll give you a line that I used in my piece that's going to drop tomorrow on the site, is the biggest reason to be optimistic about this hockey team has nothing to do with the Oilers themselves. It's how the Western Conference is looking right now. Seattle's in that last playoff spot on pace for 78 points. If the Oilers win their 2 games in hand on the Kraken, they're only 2 points back of Seattle. I know, again, you have to win those games in hand. Games in hand are only valuable if you go and cash in on them. But look at the teams who are ahead of Edmonton in the wild card race. Anaheim is 1 spot in front of them. They're junk. They're crumbling. They will continue to crumble. Calgary's in the mix, but Craig Conroy's got an interesting decision to make. Like if they're sitting in, 3 spots out of a playoff position ahead of the deadline, they might sell off. Like I'm not sure how much of a threat Calgary is. Arizona, I think they are what they are. They're a 500 hockey team who maybe they catch fire late in the season, but I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. Nashville, they are what they are. They're a 500 hockey team. Seattle cannot score. They only have 62 goals on the season. St. Louis, their GM, Doug Armstrong, was on with Frank on Frankly Speaking and used the word rebuild. Like they aren't focused on winning this year either. Like you just look at the teams who are above the Oilers and you can get one of those 2 wild card spots, I think, pretty easily here. You're not going to have to find a way to get back into this and be a 100-point team this year. I think 92 or 93 gets you into the playoffs this season, which is good news for Edmonton. The biggest reason to be happy right now with where they're at, or I shouldn't say happy, the reason to be optimistic about where they could go, is a much better way to phrase it. It's because the rest of the conference is junk.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. I saw a lot of people saying that last night too, and the Oilers were buzzing around versus the Ducks. But just to move away from the Oilers talk, you've obviously been hanging out with Frank Saravalli recently, so I'm sure you've been informed on a little bit more NHL stuff and seeing a few things. But I wanted to ask you about the Jacob Trouba. I don't even know what you want to call it. Assault. That was crazy.
I'm so confused about why this isn't a suspension, especially because the Rangers are rolling right now. And like, again, it's so much less of a headline if you're the NHL and you're like, yeah, this is a game or 2. Like no one would complain or argue with that. So I don't know why they didn't suspend him. I don't know how you could look at this and say it's a $5,000 fine. Like he swung his stick at a dude's head. That's insane.
Yeah. And to comparison's sake, like Austin Matthews, I think got 2 games for like cross-checking Rasmus Dahlin in the face, which was a suspension for sure, but clearly like an accidental placement of his stick. He meant to cross-check him in the chest and it rode up, like whatever, like suspension pass. Pietrangelo got 1 game for trying to chop off Leon Draisaitl's hands. And then Trouba gets nothing for that. It's just like, it's such a weird inconsistency for me.
No consistency.
No, that's a clear 1 game at minimum. But another place I wanted to go with you quickly, Tyler. the Cory Perry situation is super weird. I know you spoke about it with Frank spoke about it, sorry, on the rundown, and you guys spoke about it today as well on Daily Face Off Live. Can you just give people a bit of an update on what is happening? I know there's not a ton there and it's pretty vague too, but what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on is that no one knows what's going on. Like, there's just seems to be no information right now on the Cory Perry thing. Sorry, I think. Oh no, I'm still on the right mic. I thought maybe I lost you guys there for a second. I think he's going to be staying away from the team for a while here. The weird part about this is that, or not weird, like the wrinkle in all of this is it's Chicago, and that Blackhawks organization doesn't exactly have a lot of goodwill built up around the league and with fans. So they got to handle this well, and I think that's maybe why they didn't do like he's hanging around the team, whatever. They just said, dude, go home. Like, we're not even having you around. Get out of here. We'll deal with this. And I'm sure there's gonna be lawyers involved and whatnot. But yeah, it's the fact that he's away from the team and hasn't come back, man, that's something.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, when it happened, everyone was saying, like, oh, Cory Perry to the Oilers. And I was like, no, this is not a trade situation. This is just really weird situation overall. But getting even further away from hockey, you went to the Philadelphia Eagles and Buffalo Bills game last night.
How you doing, buddy?
How was that? And how much did you get chirped after the game?
It honestly, so like I had a bunch of people being like, hey man, like don't wear your Bills gear to the game. Like, it's a really bad idea. Like, Philly fans are ruthless. And it honestly wasn't that bad. Bills fans travel pretty well. So like there was probably 1,000 Bills fans at the game. Like, you could walk around and, always kind of see another Bills fan somewhere. So I wore my Bills coat. Didn't go with the Josh Allen jersey because I was like, you know what? If someone is going to pour a beer on me, at least I'll wear my waterproof coat in the whole thing. But Eagles fans were honestly fine. Like, I didn't get yelled at too much outside of a little bit of like, yeah, we're going to beat the hell out of you guys, or like, go home, they lost. So the field is awesome. The tailgate was sick. And then, of course, because Frank Saravalli knows absolutely everybody, there was a guy who worked for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's like a season ticket rep, and he's actually from Calgary. Like, we met him, whatever. First time Frank had met him as well. And this guy was like, hey, why don't you come down? Like, Frank's a season ticket holder. He was like, I got you field passes, which is how I ended up on the field and all of that. And then also he let me, which I felt weird wearing Bills gear doing this, but he let me use his, or hold on to his Super Bowl ring.
Oh, wow.
And the staff in Philly actually got the exact same quality of Super Bowl rings as the players. So I was holding on to like a legit Super Bowl ring at one point. So most of the night, like, it was raining outside, but he had us in this lounge by the players tunnel, and like we were covered and getting free drinks. I got the full Frank Saravalli experience at the game. So I'm flexing a little bit here, but it was really, really cool.
It looked unreal. I have one question do you have any sad photos of you walking out of there just soaked in rain?
Yeah,
season over, playoff hopes dead. I want that photo.
Okay, well, hold up. The playoff hopes are not dead yet for the Buffalo Bills. Like, they're 6-6. They can rattle off a few wins and get right back in this. You want to talk about you want to talk about the Oilers and like the conference sucking so they still have life? Like, who do the Bills have to catch? The Broncos might be fraudulent. The Houston Texans, okay, they're good. I don't know. The Cleveland Browns don't have a quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers are pretty average as well. Like, I don't know. I don't think they're dead yet. I'll agree. It's probably like a 20% chance they get in, but like that playoff picture is just messy.
I didn't have one good team to play in. It's Kansas. Dallas are frauds. Miami are frauds. And then they play New England, the Chargers. And then Dallas is the Kansas, the other one. But I think they're a playoff team. Like you said, like all those other teams don't have quarterbacks. And apparently now we're supposed to believe the Denver Broncos are a good football team. Give me a break. Tyler, do you want to stick around or do you got to run?
I can stay for a few more minutes here. What time is it? 54 or 44? Yeah, I got time. I'm not boarding it for a bit.
Okay, well, how about we talk about Betway quickly? 19 plus,
Sure.
Please bet responsibly. I'm assuming you had some money on the line yesterday in that Buffalo game.
Betway pre-built bet 4-1. Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen to both get a rushing TD. Cashed it in the first quarter.
That is a nice one. I went and watched the Oilers game with my friend last night, and he found a bet on Betway that was this was actually for the Ravens Chargers game, and it was over 3.5 field goals. And I had to watch him almost crying into his beer because Justin Tucker missed that field goal, which is like unheard of. Like, Justin Tucker doesn't miss field goals, and that's all he needed to cash. And stupidly, this is not betting responsibly, folks. He put all his winnings from the day on that bet, and he missed it. So
Yeah, you don't want to get chasing late in the day. Although I did, again, I had a Bills money line ticket that didn't cash. And in my drunken sadness, I was like, the Oilers are hammering the Ducks. So I hammered the Oilers on the puck line last night. So that was nice.
Nice.
That is a good idea. Let's quickly then, we'll get your thoughts on the Wendy's Survivor Pool game, which you can all go and play now. It's a fresh week over at dailyfaceoff.com. So head over there. You can splash in your bets, prizes for the winners at the end of the week too. So I'm not gonna lie, Tyler, I was out on Monday for the last week, so we need a big redemption one from this week. But Aaron, what do we got here? You got the options for us?
Yep, they're on the screen there. Can you see them, Liam?
Nope, they're not on.
They are. Lightning win versus Avalanche. The Avalanche win. Tyler, you can see it on your screen, right?
Yeah.
I cannot. Oh, mine's slow. There we go. Now it's on. Okay, so we got Lightning to beat the Avalanche to beat the Lightning. Pasternak, a goal. Vegas over 3.5 goals. Tim Stutz over an assist. Buffalo over a power play goal. Nikita Kucherov over 1.5 points. Kale McCarr shots. Washington 25.5 shots. And what's that? Kachuk 1.5.
3.5.
What are you thinking, Tyler? Where are we going here? I think Pasternak's a good one.
I'm interested to see this Kachuk one. So is that Matt or Brady?
Matt, that would have been my pick as well. 3.5.
So Matt is averaging 3.22 hits for every 60 minutes. So not quite enough there for me to like that. I'll go Kale McCarr in this one over 2.5 shots. I think that's probably pretty safe. Hey.
Yeah. Can we lock that in? Oilersnation Everyday locked in.
Actually, no, I lied. He's hit it once in his last 5 games. I don't want to pick that one. I'm going to do Vegas to score 4 goals against Calgary. I think they get their offense back on track.
And then it falls off a cliff on Tuesday, though, right?
It's a nice little scheduling perk for the Oilers. Vegas is going to be playing their 3rd game in 4 nights when they roll into Edmonton. 2nd of back-to-backs as well. We know teams could struggle, so it's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, that is pretty good. But yeah, if you want to play along, go over to Daily Face Off right now, and it's on the top right. And Wendy's is letting you win real food with your fantasy teams this year by playing the Wendy's Daily Face Off Survivor Pool. For those of you who dream of smoking the competition like the 3 of us, Wendy's is rewarding you with weekly prizes that will have you winning despite the lack of winning combinations.
Have you heard about their new menu items, Liam?
I was just gonna say I don't even know. It's all
I know what
syrup tuppus, right?
It's supposed to be.
Syrup dipitus.
Syrup dipitus.
It's supposed to be a play on words of serendipitous, but because it's not waffle fries, because it's chicken strips and French toast sticks, it's syrup dipitous, not serendipitous.
Well,
that was not clear. I would not have understood that.
I feel like it was always going to be inevitable that I was never, ever going to be able to say that word. But yeah, you can get some chicken strips and French toast for a limited time over at Wendy's. So there you go.
It's a deadly combo right there.
It is kind of a crazy combo. I might have to go try that one. But Tyler, do you have to board?
Yeah, I should probably go board my plane.
Okay. Well, at least we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, you will. I will be back in the Sports Closet studio with you guys tomorrow. And this is totally just listeners will not care at all. We have our new intern coming in tomorrow to shadow us for the day. So we got to remember that, boys.
Sweet. New intern.
Sweet.
Owen every day. Owen tomorrow. Tyler in the building.
Pre-gaming.
And I'll be on pre-gaming with Boardsy. I'm back. I'm back to a full schedule. I land tonight at 11:30 at EIA. So I got a long travel day in front of me. I got like a 4-hour layover in Montreal, but I will be back.
There you go.
Talk to Sam Montembeau.
Yeah, see if you can find Montembeau as you're there and see what he's up to. And Sean Monahan too as you're at it. And also tell Montreal fans not to take my trade proposal so personally, but also thanks for the views.
Sounds good.
Yeah, see it. Bye,
guys.
There you go. Tyler Yaremchuk on the Star Mechanical guest line.
He was.
Who would have thought? We would have got Tyler on a Star
Look at
Mechanical
he's the guest on his own. Well, you saw it. I'm going to throw it again. It's ONE with Liam Horriban, people.
There you go.
Special guest Tyler Yaremchuk.
What do we got in the chat going on here? Danger Swade. Don't laugh at Liam. He's foreign learning English. Goddamn right.
I saw Patrick Puff was in here, and
Really?
you called the Dolphins frauds.
They are frauds.
He did not take that kind.
Sorry, Pat. The Dolphins don't beat good football teams. My sincere.
Same with Cowboys.
Same with the Cowboys. You know who does? The Detroit Lions, despite losing on Thanksgiving. But anyways, what else have we got, Aaron? To kind of wrap up, we got to get to the DoorDash menu. But before we get to the DoorDash menu, Oilers Nation, pack the nation truck, food bank, food drive, presented by Sherwood Ford the Giant.
Hell yeah!
You can go to multiple locations across the city. Sherwood Ford in Sherwood Park, of course. Wilhock Beef Jerky if you're out in the Leduc area or the south side of the city. Sports Closet, St. Albert Mall and Sherwood Park Mall location. Sherwood Park definitely has the box because I gave it to them. Greta downtown and also Dog Patching bread and butter as well. But yeah, it's obviously the holidays are quickly approaching, and these food banks and people less fortunate need our help with this stuff. So even if it's just a can of soup, packet of noodles, whatever it is. And also too, like, of course, we would like for you to go and do this and help us out too by packing the nation truck. But you can just go online as well if you're not able to make it to any of these locations. It's about helping those who need it more than ever. But today is the last day you can donate to any of our 5 spots around the city now. So
there's a bin at Greta. When I saw it on Friday, I was like, wow, cool. The bar has it. But Liam as well, I want to point out, I brought this on pre-gaming.
Okay.
Eric, our graphics guy, made this for us. The Oilers Nation Pack the Nation Truck Food Bank Food Drive presented by Sherwood Ford the Giant Fun Run for the Cure. He acts fast, and he's always watching the show, and he makes it. He made it like 5 minutes after we talked about it. Shout out, Eric. We were not selling this shirt, but I might have to get this made now.
We might just make it for ourselves. Before we get to the DoorDash menu thing again, Aaron, I have to ask you about your Alberta Blue Cross memory of the game from last night. But you know what? We can also cover the Washington game as well, because we didn't get to chat about that, at least on this show. But there's only one thing better than sharing memories, and that is making new ones. Also, Alberta Blue Cross is helping us out massively with our nation vacations. And we've got another one coming up in February where we're going to the desert, folks. We're going to go watch the Yotes versus the Oil in the Mullet Arena, in what you could argue is close to a once-in-a-lifetime experience from an NHL level.
I think so. Or it's a once in a, 3-year window you got there? That. And the Den, I've only heard, we have Maddie, our jack of all trades in the office here, and she went to a game in the Den, a couple weeks ago, and she said, oh my God, when this place is covered with orange and blue, this is going to be an insane thing. And that's the thing, Liam. It's like, if we travel with that many people, this place doesn't hold that many people. So it's going to be all orange, all blue. And
it's going to be nutty.
It's going to be a party. That is for sure.
Do you have a memory from last night's game that stands out the most?
Without a doubt, Darnell Nurse, $9 million pass. I have that on repeat in my head. Mm-hmm. I went on Twitter afterwards just to relive the moment and hear people say nice things about Daryl, because it's been few and far between for the last couple of years. What about you?
Not given for Daryl. My Blue Cross moment, I'm just going to give it to number 97. It was just a fantastic game by him. 5 points. Like, he's absolutely buzzing right now. I think it's safe to say if the Oilers aren't back, at least Connor McDavid is back, which is basically says the Oilers might be back too.
I think we might be back.
Another thing I'll shout out as well is the fact Leon Draisaitl scored from his office. Yeah. That was so nice to see. I'm so happy.
Everything was nice, man. Zach Hyman scored the reverse off a draw. It was all too good. Right.
Did we talk about the no goal?
No, we haven't actually.
Okay, we can quickly talk about that. I just want to make one quick point. How is the NHL at a standard right now where they don't have the technology to tell you if a puck is over the line or not, and is determined by if snow is blocking the vision or not?
Ridiculous.
It's crazy. We just saw a World Cup of football where they're literally able to computerize the game and call it to millimeters.
Isn't there a ball in the chip?
There's a chip in the ball.
Why can't we do that? Why can't the NFL do that? Somebody explain that.
It's crazy. I think the only argument against it being in a chip in the puck in the NHL is the fact that the goal can move. So the difference in football is the fact of like the goalposts are always in the same spot. But surely there's someone out there smart enough that than you and I that can figure this
I
out.
know
You
there's
know,
people
like
smarter than you and I.
So like I'm not overly concerned. I can see why this goal wasn't allowed on the ice. I think the rest were put in a difficult position. But that's due to the lack of technology that the NHL refuses to upgrade in its own game and advance itself. There's multiple areas the NHL gets in its own way. The Minnesota Wild Marc-Andre Fleury Indigenous Night the other day too was absolutely outrageous that he wasn't allowed to wear that mask.
It's a helmet.
What does it matter?
What seriously? Who cares?
As
that
long
much?
as it's up to a standard of safety for Fleury and his mask.
If it stops pucks from breaking his face, then it's good enough for me. Like,
if it's not going to blow up, if he gets a puck to the face, then what does it matter? And I know there's this idea that like, oh well, we don't want everyone to have like do you know what I mean? I can't know the wording, but like, you don't want messages out there that you don't want. Then
if you let him do it, then you have to let everybody do it. But
don't promote hate.
Yeah,
like don't promote that kind of hatred.
Just don't put dumb shit on your mask. Exactly, we'll be good. Like it's not that complicated.
And like, look, like I know there's always viewpoints. I don't want to get into it too much, but like, what Marc-Andre Fleury was doing was nothing personal to anybody. And if it is, then that's your problem, not anybody else's. I believe his wife is Indigenous, something along those lines. Someone within his family, and there's multiple other things. It's just so stupid. But
you know what I mean? Wasn't, and he had no allegiance, and he wanted to.
What does it matter?
I don't care.
I don't care either.
And it looked cool too.
Hockey is for everyone, cool. Unless you're playing in the NHL. Then apparently it's only for a certain amount of people.
Seriously.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Gary. DoorDash.
No.
The menu, Nation 25 promo code right now, all caps. Use on your first order of $25 or more. Also free delivery, I believe, as well.
Yep.
There's a couple of good games tonight on the NHL. Smallest slate, I think, is 6 games. But there's 2 that'll stand out to me. The Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Colorado Avalanche is
buckle up, baby.
An elite matchup. It wasn't that long ago that would have been like a Stanley Cup thing. It still could be this year. I think right now Vasilevsky's back now for Tampa Bay too, so that's going to add to the spice of this matchup because he is incredible. The other game I'm looking at is the Golden Knights versus Flames. I don't know if this will be necessarily a close competitive game.
I want to get a look at the Knights
in the sense of I want to see what Golden Knights are right now.
I think Sabres Rangers also, but
that is a good one. Buffalo's in New York State, right?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I assume there's a rivalry there to some degree. To some degree, once again. Who is Patrick Kane going to pick? Might be the rivalry.
The Oilers, apparently. I just announced him on the team instead of Evander Kane. I guess get nervous talking around Tyler.
Yeah, we haven't spent time with him in a week. I don't know if he still likes me. Bears Vikings.
In the NFL, there is one game, of course, a Monday night game, which actually should be a good one despite the quarterbacks, I guess you could say, was just kind of weird. I know Justin
Josh Dobbs sanity. I like that you said it's like Lynn sanity because it totally is.
Yeah, I don't know if this guy's going to be good or not. But
it's fun
right now. He's like the only QB in it can't be all time in however long where he's had a rushing touchdown and a throwing touchdown in like 4 games in a row or something like that. So credit to Josh Dobbs. He's been able to establish himself as a legit NFL player, which is big. So that'll be a good game.
That's Waz's favorite player now.
Yes,
as you know that. It's very annoying.
I'm going to go Bears spread +3. I just think, I know that's a bit crazy, but I'm starting to think a little bit differently about betting. I think the Vikings can win, but I think we're in that part of the year now where teams have started to find their identity a little bit. And I don't think the Bears are good, but I don't think their
defense has gotten way better as the year has gone along.
Exactly. So I think they're kind of finding a little bit of groove here. And I think Minnesota are a little bit overrated for what they truly are. Josh Dobbs is great. I've really enjoyed watching him, but he's also Josh Dobbs.
The balloon will be popped soon enough.
Eventually, yeah. So I'm gonna go spread tonight +3 for the Bears over on Betway. Anything else, Aaron, or are we good to wrap here?
I think we're pretty good to wrap right now. Yeah. I know one more, and it's here on my wait. Did we talk about it? The Black Friday blackout sale?
Oh yeah, Black Friday. Let's rip that up.
Look at that, buddy. See, together we're one well-oiled machine.
There you go. So head over to nationgear.ca. You got our Black Friday blackout gear. This stuff is
sick.
Fine
this stuff is sick, man. I'm not just saying this because I work here and that's all I wear. My entire wardrobe is just free clothes now. But there are some sweet items on here. There's some sweet hats. There's toques, nation citizen toques. Gotta represent. How are people to know that you're in the chat every day if you don't tell them with a logo on the top of your head.
This stuff is legit, and it's only available for a limited time. So head over to Nation Gear.
Somebody last night in After Dark, I'm wearing Neon Leon, and they were like, "Hey, is that still available?" And I was like, "No, because it was a limited sale then." So that same logic needs to be applied to these ones. I believe those sweaters say a decade of darkness, a lifetime of glory.
Yeah.
That gets me fired up.
But however, that had me down a little bit on Friday when I was reading it too. It's like, oh no, a decade of darkness. I hope not again. But
no, we're back. We've covered it. We're
back. So back. Tyler is back tomorrow.
They have it. Back tomorrow.
The run of Aaron and Liam comes to an end. Our longest reign together on this show.
Yeah, really was.
Tyler is never going to wait and left us for a week plus before. That was
Let us know if you enjoyed the Aaron and Liam variety hour for the last week, because I'm sure Tyler will take another vacation and avoid the grind at some point.
Eventually.
So we'll be ready.
So before we leave, shout out Sports Closet. Wendy's, go and play the game over on dailyfaceoff.com. DoorDash.
Ding dong.
Greta.
Ding dong.
Alberta Blue Cross. Short Board. Pack the Nation truck, like I said. Wilhock Beef Jerky. Sports Closet, St. Albert Show Park Mall. Bread and Butter, Dog Patch, Greta, and Wilhock.
Yeah, and then I think that's it. We'll correct ourselves if there's
either way. We've got it posted everywhere. Just go do that. I'll just contact the food bank yourself and donate that way. Betway, Star Mechanical, Safe Travels Tyler, and Finning Cat YouTube chat. There you go.
Boom, boom, boom.
I'll say it one more time. I think the Oilers might have their swagger back.
Wait, hold on, give me a second.
I think I got my swagger.
Got my swagger back. Oh.
That's it.
There you go.
See you tomorrow, everybody.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit OilersNation.com.